So first and foremost, tell me your reaction to that video and how did it influence your efforts to try to get these provisions through?
Well, look, I spend a lot of time moving around Georgia, talking to people that I represent, and I've been sitting waiting on trains myself, but this disproportionately impacts certain communities, the most marginalized members of our community, and to see children throwing backpacks over a train or uh, wondering if it's safe to crawl under a train on their way to school. I mean, it's unacceptable. And I think it's important that more people become aware of this. I think a lot of people aren't aware of this. Some of us are, I think, blind by our privilege or the things that we don't see because of where we live. And we ought to get this addressed.
And because you live in a community where this has already happened and you've been stuck yourself, did you know this problem existed in this way where children were going under and over and taking these very dangerous steps just to go to school?
Yeah, there's a Hunter Hills community in Atlanta or in the area, and I mean you have reports of people waiting as many as 30 hours. So these this is more than an inconvenience. This is dangerous. Children shouldn't have to risk their lives to get to school and encounter this literal kind of barrier. And this impacts students, it impacts their parents, it impacts seniors who are trying to get to grocery stores, it impacts working people. And we ought to use all the resources we have available, the technology we have available to hold the railway companies accountable and to remove these barriers.
Talk about these provisions specifically. What kind of message are you trying to send to the rail operators when it comes to blocked crossings, and how far will you take this?
Look, we can support business and commerce and at the same time hold businesses accountable. So what I'm interested in doing is bringing us all to the table and being honest about what we're confronting here. I'm glad that we were able to move the Railway Safety Act out of committee yesterday on a bipartisan vote. I'm glad that my provisions are included in the bill, which would call on us to take a closer look at this. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to keep building on this so that we can so that we don't have situations where we literally see school children climbing over and under trains, which could start moving at any moment on their way to math class. That should not be the case.
Well, we showed you. It stunned you.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. One last question. In terms of there is legislation in the House right now that would give the FRA more authority, allow them to fine repeat offenders, ban them from blocking crossings if they wait longer than 10 minutes. Any thoughts at all on sponsoring legislation like that now that you've seen how serious this is?
I've seen it. I've heard it from people in my own community, and I've experienced some of it firsthand. Look, it's just human nature that you have to hold people accountable. And if these large railway corporations are able to act with impunity and no penalties, no accountability, this is what you get. We have to hold them accountable.